there's a diversity of laws that govern hatred across Australia. Some of those laws are civil laws that govern different forms of hate speech. Some of those laws are criminal laws that largely govern behaviour that involves some form of threat or incitement to violence based on the victim's identity or group characteristic like race or ethnicity. But there are also sentencing laws in Australia that basically say that if someone commits a crime and that crime is motivated by hatred or prejudice towards the victim because the victim's presumed to, belong to a particular racial group or a particular ethnic group or have a particular sexual orientation, then that will be an aggravating factor that the court must take into account at sentencing. And it's interesting because these laws have been used in a number of jurisdictions in Australia to take into account and to recognise that an offender's crime was motivated by group hatred. And in some cases, the sentencing court has been very clear that that motivation undermines fundamental values of equality and multiculturalism that are at the core of Australian society. So sentencing laws can also be quite powerful in actually sending the right kinds of messages. But one of the differences about sentencing laws is that they only kick in once the person's already been convicted. And they're also not very public. So what that means is that there's quite a difference between recognising at sentencing right down the end of the chain that somebody's crime is motivated by hatred or prejudice. That's quite different from having an offence, on the books that the police can use to charge someone with in the very first instance if their behaviour is motivated by prejudice or hatred. Those kinds of laws that are actually, on the books that the police can use to charge with, they are actually more powerful laws because they send a clear message of denunciation to the whole community. And those are the kinds of laws that we don't have enough of in Australia. They're in short supply. We have those vilification laws, we have those incitement laws, but they're very narrowly defined and they really only capture a small proportion of behaviour that targets people on the basis of their race or their ethnicity or their disability, etc.